The 3 count question of the week.
All right. So as we always do, or almost all the time do, we have one of these. This is we're wrapping up the year. That's kind of been the topic of the night, the main focus of what we're doing here this week. I thought I'd want to look back at the best, some of the best moments in wrestling this year.
Oh, yes.
And whether it's in wrestling or wrestling related, what are your what is your top moment or favorite moment of 2021 wrestling or wrestling related?
It's a good question. I'm glad we're asking that.
Good, right? I mean, do you want to start us off, Ryan?
I can. It looks like I'm ready to go. And I looked into this all week, and this is not an answer coming right to my head now as I'm dragging this out, Jim.
Good.
I was I was super excited. The moment of the year was the return of CM Punk to professional wrestling.
Okay.
Absolutely, bar none, moment of the year for me. And it's just done a great thing. He has been fantastic. I love it. It gets the crowds going. Phil Brooks back in wrestling, CM Punk.
All right. Tim, do you have your favorite moment from wrestling or wrestling related moment?
That's an
2020.
excellent question. I feel like that's the answer though, right? Like
It
it's
has
CM
to.
Punk
I
coming
have
back.
another one. Should I change it? It was the time that Natty match ended, and I have to watch it anymore.
I would have. Let me actually. I'm trying.
Look, Ryan, don't give the guy hell.
I'm not giving him hell. I'm making him feel
I
comfortable
mean, he at least
doing it
came on
with
the
him.
show.
I'm
He at
doing
least-
it with him.
He came on the show and he was.
I'm trying to make
you
him
took a
feel
month
comfortable.
off.
Jim, do not fight in front of. I did.
How about the dueling debuts of Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson to AEW?
Oh my, mamma mia!
Because I mean, we thought, mamma mia! Like everybody assumed that it was going to be. Everybody assumed that it was going to be Daniel Bryanson. Like, right? Like we were all just like, he's showing up big time, and then Adam Cole Bay shows up, and we're like, wow, well, that's pretty fucking wild. That's pretty awesome. And then we still got hit with Daniel Bryanson. So, yeah, that was a night.
We'll call that the old 1-2 punch.
Yeah, some would call it that. For me, I think I'm probably gonna go with Sasha and Bianca at WrestleMania. Bianca winning the title, but I mean that main event as a whole, like the moment to start the match, Bianca winning the title, like the first night that fans are back in the WWE in like a year. Like it just like all of that coming together for one night, I thought was just it was kind of the perfect moment. It wasn't the perfect WrestleMania. It wasn't the best WrestleMania by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought that moment, that match, capped everything off really, really well for that night. So Charlie had Bianca winning the title as his from the Twitter. But as like from like a personal thing, like and this is why I kind of threw the wrestling related portion, because like for me, just continuing to do this show and like I know we talked about it when we got together, at our like Christmas get together, which was like the first time we had been together in 2 years. But like what this show has morphed into, like, yes, we talk about wrestling. Yeah, it's more than a wrestling show, and it's not just about, well, here's what happened on Raw this week, and here's what happened on Dynamite. Like, we just come together and we have fun and we hang out, and it's different than it used to be. But I love what this show has become, and it's because of wrestling that we continue to do it. So for me, on a personal level, absolutely like the continuation of this show. But do you have any other moments that kind of stick out to you from the year before we look at the pay-per-view this week?
I think the return of fans, them just in and of itself, is a big moment in wrestling. I was pretty loud about how much I didn't like the Thunderdome, and I understand the importance of it and what it needed to do, but it ran its course. It was great to see the Thunderdome disappear. And I think the Thunderdome came back, I guess, right after Mania for a little bit.
Yeah, it was back until July.
But Mania itself was a big moment, having fans down there, obviously in Tampa, and you had Titus O'Neil and the Brother Man and dressed like pirates and other crazy stupid shit. But like I said, it wasn't the best Mania ever, but that Mania was special.
It was.
And
Same.
I'm sure I'm missing things. I'm sure I'm missing other things.
I mean, there's I like the easy I think the easy thing to say is that like wrestling, and yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, this has not been WWE's best year by any stretch of the imagination, but like
financially, maybe.
well, yeah, I guess it depends how you look at it. I mean, they cleared the books, they lightened the load, but like they were still good. Like even in the WWE, like AEW had a great year by all accounts. But like WWE, there was still pockets of good. I mean, like this run Roman's been on has been fantastic. The run that Lashley had, and then Big E winning the WWE title was like a fantastic moment. So like, yeah, there may not be as much good, but there's still some pockets of good there. Tim, is there any other moments you had?
Not offhand. Actually, I got one more. The Matt Cardona, Nick Gage saga.
Oh, okay.
Lighting the independent wrestling world on fire.
Okay. Sorry, I was sending a text. Yeah,
That's
I
a
mean,
good one.
Matt Cardona got me to like Matt Cardona, at least for a period of time, which is impressive. I mean, that's a guy that I was never really a fan of. So, but yeah, like, and I mean, the success of GCW is continuing into 2022 to the point where like people want to talk about them kind of in the same realm as what ECW was in like the early to mid 90s, which like when you talk about like the going into the Attitude Era, stuff like that. And no, we're never going to have an Attitude Era. I don't think wrestling's ever going to be what it was at that time. But like you have similar, like we did talk about a couple weeks ago, you have similar elements. And like back in that time, the importance of ECW to the success of WWF and WCW and what made the business explode can't be ignored. So like GCW doing what they're doing is huge right now, especially with all the talent that's out there and has potential to be there. So that one was great as well. Any other?
It really was. I feel like it really was the year of returns. If you really think about it, you had Punk coming back. You had Sting coming back and wrestling a match, like Sting back in a wrestling match this year. You had Cardona back to the indies and being like this indie darling, and really taking over the internet. And like you said, with GCW, I think 2022 is going to surprise a lot of GCW. 2022 GCW is going to surprise a lot of people,
Yes.
The only people that GCW won't surprise is their fan base that have been with them from day one. Like, I think they know that they're onto something, and they know that not day one, that
Day
day
one
one,
is
a different day one.
that's
Right,
Saturday,
right,
right?
right. They're day one. We'll call it day 1.5. The success that GCW is going to, I think, find in 2022 will not be a surprise to Brett Lauderdale or their rabid fan base that had been with them through crazy shit. Christian coming back in the WWE and then wrestling the entire rest of the year in AEW. Like, it's been a wild year. It really has been.
Yeah.
There's been some low points. The Ring of Honor stuff, that's a real bummer. A lot of people losing contracts through Ring of Honor. That's a real bum deal. I hope
mean,
Ring of
a
Honor
lot
comes
of people
back.
losing contracts, period. Like,
There has been a lot of down points as well.
Yeah,
But-
it's been a wild year. We'll probably look back a little bit more on the year that was next week as well, because we will unveil our 5 matches of the year, because
Jim, you were
I
right saying next year.
Yes, next year and next week. Because we still have 1 episode of Rampage, right? Tomorrow night, I believe they're doing a Rampage.
Rampage.
So in case if they offer up anything that could end up on a match of the year list, we couldn't give away our matches of the year before the year was over, so we'll compile those lists and unveil those next week.